want you to understand that everything that everybody wants, no matter what it is, whether it's a material object or a relationship or a state of being or a pile of money, a circumstance, an event, everything that everybody wants is for the singular reason that you believe you will feel better in the having of it. And we want to remind you here today that not only will you feel better in the having of it, we can't even find words to explain to you how glorious clarity is, how wonderful it is to be chronically connected to this stream of well-being. So now we have another way of explaining it to you. So the vortex, which is the vibrational reality, which some of it you're allowing yourself to live and some of it not, this vortex has enough in it to keep you busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. So if you can relax and expect good things to come to you, then more of the things that you've defined begin to flow specifically into your experience. It's such a nice thing. So we began describing to you that you've got to prepare yourself for the content of the vortex to reveal itself to you. So as you hold yourself in vibrational difference from the vibration that is in your vortex, then you disallow yourself the full manifestation of it. So we began talking about your point of attraction. What is your point of attraction? What is your right now, in this moment, in every moment, relationship with what you've created, with what's actually in the vortex? Well, you can tell by the way you feel what your relationship is, but you can also tell by how things are turning out for you. So we began describing this vibrational grid. It's like a vibrational state of being that will fill in with all of the details. It's like the framework of a house. First the framework goes up, and then eventually they put the roof on and the walls go in and more detail comes to it. But initially there's a sort of a grid-like structure, and we want you to be aware that you've got this grid-like structure going on all the time that you have control over, that most of you have not been exercising your control as much as you can, or even hardly at all, because you've been observers of things rather than determined that you're going to prepare a grid, a point of attraction that matches what's in your vortex. So as we began describing this point of attraction, this grid, reminding you that your emotions are your indicator of really where your grid is. So if you recall the conversations that we've had about the emotional scale, where there is despair or powerlessness, and there is revenge, and there is frustration, and there's hopefulness, and then there's love and eagerness and all of those things that feel so good, appreciation. So this emotional scale, we want you to now superimpose over this emotional scale of not feeling good to feeling really good, these spinning discs, your point of attraction. So Esther began thinking to herself, what disc am I on? She'd say to someone, I'm on the Henri disc, so you might want to stay away. But the truth of it is, no one can stay away because law of attraction is so powerful, especially if there's momentum going. So what really happened is, even though Esther said, stay away, I'm Henri, really what happened, other Henri people joined her on her disc. And then when they would get there, she would say, you're really Henri, I really don't like you being here. And they would say to her, well, you're Henri too. I really don't like you being here. But here we are, Henri together, just like law of attraction says that we must be. So if you really want to know what disc you're on, just look around. If there are Henri people around you, that's your disc. Because they're not getting on otherwise, you see. They cannot defy law of attraction and jump on, oh yeah, I was on a high-flying disc. I was doing so good. I was just soaring, and then you showed up. No, that's not really what happened. No, I was worried about you showing up. I remember the last time you showed up. I was tensing against you showing up. I was remembering how much I didn't want you to show up. I was shouting, no, don't show up. And then you showed up. That's really how it happened. In other words, law of attraction is a very powerful thing, you see. And so Esther started having fun with these discs. She said, Abraham, it's like the 7 dwarves. There's the happy disc, the grumpy disc, the passive-aggressive disc. She's up to about 200 dwarfs now, as she's finding all kinds of places in this range of emotions. So we want to call your attention to your point of attraction. That's really what we want to talk about. Because if you will take it upon yourself as your conscious responsibility to choose the disc that you're on and then stay there deliberately by thinking about things that make it easier and easier for you to stay there, then you're going to start rendezvousing with more and more that makes it easier to stay there until you will have a momentum going that will keep you chronically, usually, often, most often on this high-flying disc. It's really, really wonderful to be on the high-flying disc, tuned in, tapped in, turned on, feeling clarity and passion and love and appreciation. Your view of the world from the high-flying disc is the view of the world that the source within you holds. That's who you're rendezvousing when you rendezvous on this high-flying disc. You're rendezvousing with source, and that's why you're so clear. That's why you're so funny. That's why you're so knowledgeable. That's why you feel so good. That's why you have so much vitality. That's why you feel tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Because you are, you see. So, as we visit with you here today, we want to talk about this momentum. And we want to bring you to the place of really understanding that when you are in vibrational alignment with who you really are, when you've practiced yourself into that vibrational frequency so that you are predominantly there, that's when you actually begin to live your life in the powerful, co-creative way that you've intended. That's when true life begins for you in the way that you planned. That's when you really get on the trajectory that you intended when you made the decision to come here to begin with. So, over time, we said to you, you create your own reality and you get what you think about whether you want it or not. And then we began to explain to you that when you know what you don't want, you launch a vibrational rocket of what you do want. Now, that was never a very satisfying conversation for you because we're talking about rockets that you can't really see going into what we began to describe as the vortex. Oh, that was fun. The vortex of creation. It was such a good concept, such a good way of explaining to you. We wrote a whole book about your vortex, saying to you, get into your vortex, get into your vortex. Because when you've launched a rocket about what you want, and you've done it and done it and done it and done it and done it, there is a reality, a vibrational reality that is ready to reveal itself to you in full manifestational form, but you've got to be a vibrational match to what you're asking for. So we began talking to you about this vortex of creation, and many of you resonated with it. You got the idea of it, that there is a vibrational reality that is in place before there is a manifested reality. But it's hard for you to make that jump in most cases because you are so accustomed to translating things visually and auditorially and with your nose and your fingertips and your tongue. You're so good at that when we talk about a vibrational reality that you cannot see and that you cannot hear and that you cannot smell or taste or touch, it wasn't as real as you wanted it to be. And then we began to explain, but you can feel your way into it. When you're happy, you're there. When you feel elation, you're a vibrational match to what's in there. And if you can keep it up, if you can keep the momentum going in the direction of what you want long enough, and it's not that long, if you can hold yourself in vibrational steadiness with who you really are and what you really want, a momentum will ensue that will be realized by you in full manifestational form. So that in time, everyone around you will be able to witness the manifestation that has moved from the vibrational reality into what you want to call reality. You don't want to call it reality until you can sleep with it or spend it or eat it or live in it or drive it. In other words, we get it. You want it to be about your spaces and faces and places. We get that. So as we begin talking about your grid, your point of attraction, your discs, your high-flying disc, we know that sometimes it's not so easy because of past momentum. You got some things you've been thinking about, and some of the things that you really believe put you on a lower flying disc. It's hard to watch television and stay up there because much of television, much of the media has discovered that there are more of you on those lower discs. And since they're looking for ratings, they hang out where most of you are. So if you're tuning in, then if you weren't there when you tuned in, you will be pretty soon because there's something to show you to worry about, to push against, to feel indignation about, to feel anger about. So when you decide that you want to be on your high-flying disc, it begins to cause you to look at things a little differently. And we really want you to leave this gathering today with a sort of renewed determination that you care about what disc you're on, and a new understanding that you have control about what disc you're on. And then a sort of readiness to begin practicing some very easy techniques to get you there and to keep you there. Because life is supposed to feel good to you. You're supposed to be rendezvousing in powerful, co-creative moments, you see. There is no way that we have seen that will restore you to your true sense of value and worth more than this understanding and accomplishing of this high-flying disc. Because when you stand in that vibrational frequency with source energy at your back, assisting you every step along the way, again and again all day long, you'll stand with a smile on your face, knowing the perfection of where you stand. You will realize that this is really who you are. This is who you are meant to be. And anything less than this is just not enough for you. And you can do it. It's not a difficult thing. So if you've been following us for a while, you've been reading books. We've written lots of them. Stuffed them full of processes, lots of them. And today we're going to offer to you a process that we want you to know trumps all of them. Doesn't render them ineffective. It's just the process of all processes. Because it's the process that will accomplish the most for you. It will get the most done for you. It will put you in the strongest place of positive attraction. And it's the easiest thing to do. Sort of like a magic pill, it seems. But it will take your deliberate attention and your readiness to find resonance with who you are. Have we convinced you so far that you create your own reality? Have we convinced you so far that you live in a vibrational universe? Have we convinced you so far that your vibration matters? And have we convinced you that the better you feel, the higher flying you are, that the better your point of attraction is in terms of the more you will like what begins to manifest? So here's the process. When you wake up in the morning, that's your best opportunity to stay on the high flying disc, because you were on it when you woke up. Just like you were on the high flying disc when you were born, before you were oriented toward trouble. You're on that high-flying disc when you wake up. And here's the reason. We're just going to give it to you in a very bold statement. While you slumber, your momentum of thought ceases. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't wake up in the morning and pick up right where you left off. But if you don't do that, you have a better opportunity to find that high frequency. So we encouraged Esther to do it. It's been a few months now. We encouraged her. When you wake up, find a thought that feels good. And at first, just the pressure of finding a thought that felt good, he kept her from finding one. The first day, she didn't even make it until breakfast before she was soaring down some trajectory that she didn't mean to soar down. But we convinced her, and she was committed, that every day she would wake up and reach for the best feeling thought that she could. And she discovered that the more general the thoughts were, the easier they were to feel good. In other words, if you wake up and start pondering a problem, you're off your high-flying disc before you even realize that you're on it. But if you wake up and stay as general as you can, finding something that's very easy to appreciate, you sort of kind of have to ask your family or set your alarm a little early so that you have a little bit of private time before the world descends on you. Because the world is going to descend on you pretty much like it has been descending on you, and there is a momentum or a trajectory that's already been going. So we understand why it's a little difficult to begin changing your vibration in the middle of a stream, because there's a current already going. We really understand that. But we want you to know that first thing in the morning is your best opportunity to do it. Or after a nap, or after meditation. When you meditate, you stop your mind, you stop your thoughts, and when thoughts are stopped, then there's no resistance. And in that absence of resistance, we've been telling you for a while, it's like the cork bobbing on the surface of the water. You can hold it under the water. That's what negative emotion is. But when you let go of it, it's going to bob right back up there. And you are too. When you wake up, you're bobbing for a minute. You are. So if you can just wake up and hold that frequency by finding things as general as you can, it is our promise to you that momentum will begin to help you. You'll begin to feel the momentum until one thought will lead to another and another and another. Now, when you first begin this conversation is not all that satisfying, because we're encouraging you to a concept, to a time of day, to a deliberate focus, and to a result that we promise you will get. But the result will not be manifestational evidence for you for a while. So you're going to be applying this for the